The film opens in a city under military control. A catastrophic event infects the residents with a lethal virus, prompting most to attempt fleeing to another city. However, their escape is thwarted by soldiers who command them to stay. Those defying the military's orders are sent to isolation camps. In the following scene, a commander named Stone is shown torturing the wife of a rebellious soldier named John. Stone discovers that John has been aiding people in escaping from the isolation camp. He threatens to kill John's wife, Susan, if John refuses to disclose the hiding places of those who escaped. When John remains silent, Stone kills Susan right in front of him. 3 years have passed, but John remains unable to forget his beloved wife. While in hiding, he secretly trains in self-defense, determined to avenge her one day. It is revealed that John was once a member of the Special Forces under Stone's command. This unit had massacred hundreds of residents suspected of being infected with a dangerous virus. In reality, the virus was a fabricated crisis by Stone for his personal gain, resulting in the citizens becoming victims of his greed. John, guided by his conscience, vehemently condemned his superiors' atrocities, leading to his being branded a traitor. Tests revealed that John was immune to the virus plaguing the city, and the medical team intended to create a vaccine from his blood. John refused and fought back, ultimately escaping from the camp. Now hiding in the forest, he is haunted by his wife's death and guilt over killing many innocent people. While lamenting his fate, John is startled by the arrival of a wounded woman. He quickly takes her into his hut. The next day, she awakens and introduces herself as Maria. John discovers a bullet lodged in Maria's body, which was fired by military forces during her escape attempt. He assists Maria in removing the bullet. After successfully removing the bullet, John is shocked to discover it is actually a tracking device. Maria passes out once the bullet is extracted. Realizing that Maria is being targeted by the Special Forces, John also notices a special barcode on her wrist. When Maria wakes up, John informs her that she can stay in his cabin for a while, but must leave as soon as she recovers, as he doesn't want further trouble with the Special Forces, who are also hunting him. 2 days later, members of the Special Forces arrive at his hut, asking about Maria since the GPS led them there. John feigns ignorance. When they insist on searching the hut, John incapacitates them, and Maria manages to kill one of them. Maria senses that John is not an ordinary person and wants to learn more about him, but John is reluctant to reveal his identity. News of the deaths of the Special Forces members reaches their superiors, Roy and Lucy, who plan to report to their commander Stone, the same man who killed John's wife at the beginning of the film. Meanwhile, John is busy fortifying his hideout, anticipating a retaliatory strike from the Special Forces. Later in the evening, Maria confides in John, explaining why the Special Forces are chasing her. Like John, Maria's DNA is immune to the virus, making her a valuable target for the military, who want to use her genetic material. Maria refuses to give them her DNA because she knows the military would only distribute the vaccine to select groups, neglecting the poor citizens infected by the virus. They intend to use the vaccine for their own gain to seize control of the city. Fate brought her to John, who shares her immunity but has suffered the loss of his beloved wife. Maria reveals that she was a thief in the past and had been imprisoned. When the virus outbreak occurred, it killed most of the prisoners and guards, but Maria survived due to her immunity. The next day, John teaches Maria how to use weapons for self-defense. Shortly after, 3 members of the Special Forces enter the forest. Aware of their approach, John hides in the hut to lure them in. As they get close, John quickly shoots them. Unfortunately, one of the soldiers captures Maria and demands John to reveal himself. John shoots the man from inside the hut and then kills him after emerging. With the 3 soldiers missing, the superiors decide to send more forces to capture Maria. Unaware that her protector is John, a former Special Forces member and skilled fighter. Meanwhile, John and Maria prepare for the arrival of the next wave. John retrieves a weapon he hasn't used in a long time and asks Maria to fetch water from a nearby lake. There, Maria is unexpectedly surrounded by the newly arrived Special Forces. Believing they have captured their main target, Roy reports to Stone. Before Roy can finish his report, John appears and opens fire, rescuing Maria once again. Despite the ambush, Roy survives and informs Stone, requesting reinforcements. Stone orders his men to capture Maria alive. The dispatch troops arrive, but despite Maria being briefly caught, she manages to kill her captors. Stone hears of his troops' deaths and sends additional reinforcements with orders to kill Maria's protector. These new troops arrive at John's hut, leading to intense gunfights and scuffles. However, John, having prepared a strategic defense and familiar with the terrain, successfully defeats the Special Forces. The members of the Special Forces struggle to make any headway and ultimately meet the same fate as their predecessors. As dozens more troops arrive, they discover a tunnel near John's hut and report this to Lucy. Unbeknownst to them, Maria is hiding above the tunnel and ambushes them, killing all the soldiers. Realizing his current strategy is failing, Stone decides to lure John into the tunnel. While scouting the forest, John unexpectedly encounters Roy, an old friend. A fierce fight ensues, with Roy proving to be a formidable opponent. John is repeatedly knocked down and overwhelmed by Roy's attacks. Simultaneously, Maria is captured by other troops. Despite being battered, John survives and sets out to find Maria. Roy takes Maria to the tunnel with the troops. John, overhearing Stone's instructions through the comms of the fallen soldiers, learns that they are gathering in the tunnel. Unaware it's a trap, John heads straight for the tunnel. Inside the tunnel, John encounters Roy once again, and they engage in another intense fight. Meanwhile, Stone and his troops are waiting for Roy at the end of the tunnel. John, struggling against Roy's formidable fighting skills, eventually manages to overpower and kill him. He quickly takes Maria and heads out of the tunnel, but they find the exits blocked by troops. Forced to fight, John and Maria engage in another shootout with the Special Forces. They manage to defeat this group, but additional troops soon arrive. John throws smoke grenades to obscure the soldiers' vision, using the cover to make a run for the exit. As they flee, John is hit by a shot from Lucy but survives. They enter a nearby room, where John instructs Maria to hide until it's safe. He plans to lure the enemy troops away from the tunnel to give her a chance to escape. Unfortunately, Stone and his troops are already waiting for John at the end of the tunnel. With no other options, John surrenders. Confronted by Stone, John faces his wife's killer once again. Stone realizes that Maria has been difficult to capture because of John's help and demands to know her location. Despite being tortured, John refuses to betray Maria. Frustrated, Stone accepts John's challenge to a one-on-one duel. John ultimately defeats Stone in front of his men. Humiliated and desperate, Stone orders his men to give him a weapon, but they refuse, tired of his brutal leadership. Enraged, Stone forcibly takes a weapon from one of his men, but is shot with it. At that moment, Maria emerges from her hiding place, surrendering while showing 2 grenades. She threatens to detonate them if Lucy doesn't release John. Lucy, seeing no other choice, agrees and Maria is taken to the headquarters while John is left in the forest. Unbeknownst to Stone's troops, John had previously given Maria a sample of his blood to help create a vaccine. Eventually, a vaccine is developed from John and Maria's blood, allowing the citizens to live peacefully in the city once more. The end. So, what do you think of this movie? Did you enjoy the recap? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. One like and subscribe is highly appreciated. Share this video to your friends and family too. And that's about it. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next videos.